Bit of an open format today. I want to reflect on our year and specifically our initiative of Team 35, which we came up with about a year ago and we've implemented during 2024. I just want to touch back on some of the points some of the issues we wanted to solve, how it turned up. So this one's going to be sort of unscripted, a few of my ideas, and I'm going to read out the initial presentation that I've introduced to the board a year ago. So the idea came about how do we solve the problem of growing and how do we assemble the best team we can in order to innovate and move us forward and achieve the goals that we've set for ourselves. So some of the growth problems that I've illustrated to the board were more people, more everything. So more problems, constant system rethinking, management complexity, efficiencies, moving offices, less focus on the mission, and playing catch up in terms of organizing processes and the team. What we initially envisioned with Team 35 is what it could solve us, what it could give us this year. So we've purposefully moved back all of our business targets on the second front, and Team 35 was our number one objective for this year. So there was a lot of focus on it and a lot of effort put into building, searching and building the team the best we can. So initially our idea was that we're going to build a super team that leaders would need to think more critically in terms of who they can hire, what roles they're meant to fulfill, and how they would slot into the bigger picture. Leaders would work more effectively. We would focus HR more on people development rather than constant searching of more and more people. We wanted to create a sort of a pressure cooker where there would be less of a team and more pressure on the individuals and who are performing the tasks. So the environment would need to be, we don't want to solve something by hiring additional hands, but instead rethinking of how we work day to day, communicate with each other, keeping each other in check. So having strong people, meaning everyone cares about what they're doing and they would keep each other in check. Quality over quantity. PR was a big part, big bet on it, and I will tell you how it panned out. Limitation drives innovation. So the idea is how, for example, if government regulates something, it forces businesses to rethink how they're working. One of the recent examples is when EU mandated that all electronics and phone chargers need to be USB-C type. So it forced iPhone to ditch their Lightning connector and integrate USB-C. In the end, everyone wins because it's a more of a universal approach. Not so much about innovation, but sometimes it leads to better things for the public. And regular reviews, kind of keeping in touch, are you the best or not? So not all of this panned out looking back. I think in terms of the team, we're finished now. So 35 assembled. We believe in all of them. In terms of leaders thinking more critically, I think I would go back to this one in terms of leaders were thinking about the team, not so much about results. But I think one of the key takeaways with having had this initiative is that we've lost sight on our why. And our why is about achieving something amazing. It's about the result, where we're going. Team 35 is one of the hows. And that was one of the primary hows of when Alex and I envisioned this business. We would place our bets on people, on strong people, to try and tackle this problem and solve it together. But by us focusing this year on Team 35, we're constantly thinking about the how, which in turn kind of derailed us how all the rest of the decisions for the business panned out in terms of the why. Yes, leaders were thinking critically about the team, but not so much about the result and how we go about achieving the result. and building the team and building the business. HR focusing on development, for sure. I think one of the highlights for this year, for me personally, is our summer get-together with the team. 3 amazing days of doing different alternative practices, so to speak, meditation, standing on nails. We had bathing rituals, and a lot of very cool practices, and I think team really appreciated that we've done it differently this year. And I've seen people integrate some of those practices into their daily lives. So for me, it was definitely a highlight. There are other initiatives, again, to drive people development, but some of them, I think, if we're kind of honest with each other, were not accepted as that well by the team, because again, it was more a focus on the how. Okay, we need to do this. Let's focus on development. Let's just integrate more and more sessions which would take away from the team. So when the team doesn't understand why they're doing certain things, it makes it harder to sell it to them and make sure they actually accept it and integrate into their lives and thus become better. So this one didn't work out. Pressure cooker Q4, yeah, for sure. When we turned up about our expectations and actually focused on the result, that's when we started noticing where our weak points are. And in this sense, it actually forced us to find the right solutions and to strengthen certain aspects of our business that ideally we could have done it beginning in Q1 of this year, but it was not until Q4 that we've actually started to see where we need to improve, and thus, as a consequence, concentrate on people and on development, which comes later. Quality over quantity, for sure. That one panned out really well for us. PR, I think, was one of the big successes. I think every time I talk to people and when they hear Libernetix or when they hear about Team 35, they know who it is. We've got a lot of positive feedback, not so much on the result, but of how bold a decision it is and that we are pursuing it and we're trying to innovate. And we've got a lot of support, which for me is always a good sign. It shows that you're actually following your heart of what you're trying to do and you're doing it your own way. So the right people will always support you. There are some people who don't understand why we're doing this, why we're shooting ourselves in the foot. But I think it panned out really well. So a lot of people associate Libernetix with Team 35 nowadays. Limitation drives innovation? Yes and no. This one I can't answer, I guess. At this point, we'll need to see a bit more how this pans out. Did it limit our growth? In some ways, sure. Again, we didn't concentrate so much on the actual business, more on the team. And in this sense, it did limit our growth. I think we understood this in the beginning when we started to pursue this idea and when we committed with this idea in the beginning of the year. But kind of looking back, I think we would have got better results in terms of business and in terms of the team quality, what we're trying to pursue if we're concentrated on the main goal. Tensions, oh yeah. Throughout the year, especially so in Q4. It's a good sign. It shows us where the weak points are. It helps us improve communication. It helps us address problems. I'd rather all problems be visible, no matter how hard it is to accept them, to hear them, but it helps us to improve. And luckily, leaders are very open in terms of working with problems, in terms of actually looking at them and doing something about them. Harder to add new products. Yes, for sure. Again, limited our business growth. People grow and then they leave. That was one of the negatives that we thought could pan out. I didn't see it happening this year. Some people did rethink what they want to do, but there wasn't anything obvious. Maybe I'll comment a bit later. It was a challenging year for us. I think we learned quite a lot. I would definitely do it different next year. But since our team is assembled, our core team is here, Team 35 is ready. As Libernetix, we are ready to open a new chapter for next year. There will be definitely new initiatives, but we want to focus on growing the business. We finally got to the point where we're finally starting to build our platform, our financial platform that will help shape the industry in the years to come. So stay tuned for that. There's a lot of exciting stuff. Since our dream team is ready, now we're going to deliver some dream results for you guys. Stay tuned. It's been great having you with us, and keep following our journey. All the best in the new year.